If you want to turn your social media storytime posts into documentaries, then this video is for you. I'm going to show you some tools that you can use to turn your story into a documentary using AI. It's going to up your level of your production so you can submit it to streaming platforms that may want to show your program on TV. My last documentary was shot on the Samsung Note 10 and the old Sony camera. I don't know anything about camera settings. I just put them on automatic and then I started recording. Of course, it's better if you know how to manipulate the settings and get the best quality footage. I would suggest that at least one of your cameras be shooting at 4K or better, HD at the minimum. You also want to shoot on landscape or horizontal like you'd watch on TV or on YouTube. Don't shoot it like you're shooting a TikTok because that's not going to work. Then you're going to take your footage from your camera sources and then you're going to import them onto your computer and onto your program timeline. I use Adobe Premiere Pro or Final Cut. There's a bunch of others out there. Find one that you're comfortable with and start editing. You edit out your mistakes, rearrange it, arrange it however you want to. Then this part is real important. You're going to create a caption file. I'll make videos on all of these steps in detail. Right now, I'm just going to give you a general overview on how to do stuff. Now, once you create a caption file, you're going to use it to get some B-roll footage AI style. There's programs out there that will take your text from your audio and create a video storyboard based on the words that you're saying. And it's going to give you actual footage to use that relates to your audio. That's going to save you hours, days, even weeks of going around collecting B-roll footage. I put the program that I like in the video description. They have millions of videos in their library to choose from to create your storyboard. Even if you use a program like that, make sure you don't overuse this feature because you want your documentary to be as unique and personal to the story as possible. So use your own pictures and videos as much as you can, but then you can supplement your story with some AI-generated B-roll to fill in the gaps. Once you have all of your video, your photos, and your B-roll, put everything on your timeline and just edit it how you want. Now, the audio is very important. You want to make sure that your audio is crisp and understandable. I have a deep voice and I can mumble at times because I get tired of talking. So I purposefully have to speak slower and lighter and try to speak more clearly. Whenever possible, use microphones, use tools to block the wind and the pops and stuff like that. I'll make a separate video about that. There's a lot of guys out there with videos on that too. Once you get your final audio, there's several AI programs out there that's going to allow you to master your vocals at a pro level with just a click of a button. I like Adobe Podcast Voice. There's one built into Adobe already, but if you got a different program and you want to use their site, you can go to this link right here and process the audio files and then import them back into your editor already crispy and at a pro quality. After you edited your documentary the way that you want, you can create a soundtrack to add moods to your scenes. There's several AI programs out there that'll help you create these scenes. I made a lot of my own music, so I can't really endorse one or the other, but Google AI Music Generator. The main thing you want to make sure is that the music that you generate is copyright-free music that you can use on your own project. If you feel like you put together a really good program, you may want to try to get distribution for it. You definitely want to distribute your project on your own at first because that means you keep almost all of the money. If you got followers that are interested in supporting you or hearing your story, you set up a site where they can check everything out. There's some sites out there that'll let you set up for free and you can publish your content and let people see it. Here's some sites where you can distribute your content on your own. You put it out there and you keep all the money, minus the transaction fee. Each of these have their pros and cons, so check out each one and just see what works for you. And of course, there's YouTube if you're monetized and TikTok series if they ever get their act together. It looks like they don't. When you're done, if you think your program is ready for TV, don't be afraid to pitch it to a film distribution company. After your sales slow down through your own distribution efforts, a distribution company can give it extra life on TV. They can put your project on channels that you can't necessarily do by yourself. You used to be able to submit your content directly to Tubi and places like that, but after getting a flood of content, most of which is worse than what you actually see on TV now, they decided to use a distributor to curate the content, and then they just take from whatever that they give them. So if they like your program and decide to distribute it for you, they'll shop it around to a bunch of these different channels for a cut. Now, if you send yourself to the wrong distribution company, they can take your project, lie to you about how many times it's being streamed, and because they lied, they'll just take the money that you should be getting because how would you know? So you want to make sure that you're going to a reputable distributor that's transparent with their records. The one I always hear great things about is Film Hub, so that's who I went to. I'm not a professional at any of this stuff. I just had a real story to tell and just enough skill to put everything together. In total, it took me about 2 weeks. I could go into detail on all of these sections, but this video, again, is just a general overview. Follow the steps to transform your social media story into a documentary or a series. Distribute it on your own at first, then find a distributor to give your project some extra life.